Black programs are a real thing. I mean, there's a whole black budget. It's a real thing. And it's an important thing because if you know what the budget is that's being spent, you can start to ascertain or start to deduce what it might be being spent on. So a black budget's an important thing, even to protect from accountants at CIA understanding what CIA is doing. They don't have a need to know. So why should they know whether we're spending 1 trillion or 12 trillion, right? Whatever it might be. So black budgets are an important thing. When it comes to people who are whistleblowing in general, I find that it basically breaks into two camps. You've got genuine whistleblowers who know something is going on that shouldn't be, and they've tried to go through the proper channels, and the proper channels either haven't worked or they're working too slow, so they come out publicly and blow the whistle. Then you have other people who are just not right, just not mentally right in the head, and they've been in something so long, or they're in something so deep they've lost the larger perspective, they've lost the mission essentially, and then they come out and they whistleblow. From what I've heard, Grush is more of the true type of whistleblower. He saw stuff and then had people on the inside that just weren't working fast enough, or he wasn't being taken seriously, so he came out and spoke. But there are plenty of other examples of whistleblowers who do the opposite.
Danny, what did Sarfati say about Grush again? What was his take on that?
He's a fucking idiot.
No, I get a little skeptical, and I think a lot of people out there do, when you see things pile on almost in unison in a way from so many governments. I mean, we just saw like that video in Mexico.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can put that in the corner of the screen, Steven, or if that's copyrighted.
The aliens they just found in Mexico. No, that, like I said, that shit's been on the internet for a long time.
But now they're like putting this whole dog and pony show on to make sure fucking everybody sees it. You know, and I'll say, like, when you listen to Grush talk at Congress, like, not that this really counts for anything, but he comes across as pretty credible. But there's also so many arguments about what these things are. Are they crafts from another planet?
Right.
Are they future humans? You get the religious sect that wonders if they're like demons. So they're, you know, some of it sounds crazy, but if we don't know what it is, we don't know what it is. And when you hear him going
Pull
through
up
it,
them in the boxes.
You know, when he says stuff about I may get this wording a little wrong, but he's like, we have possession of biological
he called
entities,
them biologicals.
Biologicals not of this planet or something like that. Is it this? Is that what he's referring to? Is it the little green man that James Fox is talking about in so many of his sightings? Or, you know, is it something else? I don't know.
Yeah, and it's important because biologics, what else is biological? Plants, right? Soil samples. True. There's all sorts of things. Germs, viruses. What is it? And taking things out of context, especially when it comes to the way government people speak versus the way that the lay civilian speaks, we speak in completely different terms. Government people work really hard to use terminology that they can't be like held accountable to in the future.
Right.
So it's overgeneralized and undercommitted.
Yes.
Meanwhile, civilians are coming out and they want to be like hyper specific about everything. So that's why you hear terms like, we have biological proof or evidence that is not of this planet or not of this known planet.